Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. We see so much of the bad in the world on a daily basis that sometimes we need just a little pick-me-up. A small reminder that maybe there's hope in humanity after all. Good things do happen in the world, and we have video to prove it, which is what brings us to today's installment of the Top 10 Real-Life Heroes Caught on Tape. But before we get started, why not become an archivist today by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. If you end up enjoying this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up, and in the comments section, tell us what's the most heroic thing you've ever done. Number 10. Faulty wiring. In this hard-to-watch clip, a man holding his toddler walks into what seems to be a convenience store to purchase some refreshments. It doesn't take long for this routine to the store to turn bad. Not much information about this video can be found, but the video does most of the talking anyway. Somehow there was a short circuit or faulty wiring that made the refrigerator, at least its handle, live with electricity. As soon as the man tries to open the door, he immediately tenses up, drops his child, and like a wood board, topples over to the side. Luckily, an old man who saw what was happening came to his rescue in mere seconds, kicking the door off its hinges to remove the man from the grip of being electrocuted. At the end of the video, he seems to be walking off what just happened, so we can only hope this story had a happy ending. Number 9. Racecar driver rescued. Famous F1 driver Ayrton Senna really showed the heart of honest competition when competing in the qualifying Belgian Grand Prix against Eric Comas. Comas was mistakenly waved out of the pits too early and got into an accident, and while other drivers drove past, doing their best to avoid the crash, Senna stopped and ran to his aid instead, possibly saving his life while dodging other cars in the process. He turned off the engine and helped steady Comas. Despite not having won, they both came out feeling as if they'd taken home the biggest prize, life itself. Number 8. Domestic hero. When responding to a domestic dispute call, cops must be thinking it's either going to be a tame but unnecessary pain that involves people under the influence, or that it could get really ugly. In this case, it was the latter. A woman was shot by her partner in the leg during a domestic altercation, and the police got involved. In fact, they heard gunshots from outside and ran into the line of fire to stop the violence from further affecting the woman and her children, going back to find them fleeing through the back door. It was such a brave action because at any point during the dispute, either of the officers could have been fatally shot, but they were overriding their instincts, following their training, and working entirely to save the family in front of them. Number 7. Unconscious woman saved from burning car. That title alone is enough to give you anxiety. If you've made it through a car accident and are still alive, there are a couple of things you don't want to happen. One is being in a sinking car, and the other one is probably burning. Police found a woman unconscious and trapped in her car after an accident. Seeing as the car was about to burst into flames, time was of the essence. The imminent threat didn't faze the pair. They worked even harder to pull the woman out and save her before the flames took over. Number 6. Seattle Pacific shooting hero. The footage from the Seattle Pacific University shooting in 2014 is absolutely terrifying. It's hard to imagine someone walking into where you are with a gun in hand, threatening to shoot. This specific shooting left one student dead and 2 others injured. It would have been many more were it not for this courageous student. After we see him engage with several others, he's caught off guard by a student who pepper sprays him, tackles him, and wrestles away the weapon. If it weren't for him, well, let's not even think about what could have happened. Number 5. Hugh Jackman. When you see a celebrity out in the open, you're never expecting them to act like their movie selves. In fact, you're expecting them to avoid being seen doing anything at all, exhausted after being approached repeatedly. Jackman, however, proved a while back that he's just as heroic as we thought. His son, Oscar, was caught in a riptide at a beach in Australia, and Jackson rescued him from the waves. He also helped other people to avoid the same fate by beckoning them out. Number 4. Saved from a sinking car. Just what I mentioned earlier, the other absolutely frightening thing that could happen to you in a car. This deputy officer catches two women trapped in a quickly sinking car and can't stand around watching much longer. After realizing that the pair is not going to be able to make it out alone, he starts wading into the water, set on saving the day. He used a tool to break a window and pulled the two women out. Thanks to him, what could have been the last day of their lives turned out to be a story they'll tell their grandkids. The story of that time they survived a sinking car with only minor injuries. Talk about your lucky day. Number 3. Westgate Mall Rescue. This particular officer saved a whole small family using his body as a human shield during a terrorist attack. In 2014, 4 masked gunmen took over the Westgate shopping mall in Nairobi, Kenya. Everyone inside immediately got on the ground. Some were shot to death, while others were playing dead to avoid severe wounds from clearly disturbed men. This woman and her children were among those waiting for the attack to hopefully pass. The man convinced them to follow him out and saved them from becoming one of the 71 dead and roughly 200 injured as a result of the attack and the fire that ensued, causing part of the building to collapse. Without his contagious bravery, those people may never have gotten out alive. Number 2. Kids are heroes too. This video is every parent's nightmare, but the way it ends really gives me hope about our future. Kids are often underrated, thought of as helpless, sometimes even dumb. There's nothing dumb about these kids, though. They were all on the bus to school when their driver had a heart attack. His foot, stuck on the gas, kept the bus moving forward despite his lack of consciousness, and as soon as one of the kids realized the trouble they were in, he jumped into action, turning off the vehicle and taking the keys out of the ignition. Other kids dialed emergency services, and as a result, even though the driver unfortunately passed away, all of the children survived. Number 1. A hostage situation. Our last hero didn't make it out of the situation. He stumbled upon a domestic dispute turned hostage situation in Brazil. This man is threatening to kill a woman at a church right on the steps. The police have gotten involved, but the situation is dicey. So a brave, homeless man steps in before the woman is hurt. He rushes the armed guy and disarms him, but not without getting shot in the process. Unfortunately, it turned fatal, but he didn't die without cause. The woman walked away safely, but she knows forever that it was all thanks to him. Thanks for watching. There are lots of exceptional cases like these of heroism, people who step away from their own senses of self-interest and self-preservation to help others in times of need. Let us know in the comments some other examples you know about. Remember, it may not always be classified as an heroic thing to do, but it's always the good thing to find ways to step away each day from your own personal interests to show kindness to someone. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell, give this video a like, and share it with friends.